All right, this is a video on how to change out the screen driver caps on a TS-520 and still use the original mounting brackets. So these are what you're going to be replacing. They're dual caps and they're 22 UF 450 volt. These are no longer available. You can't get these. You can get maybe a 32 UF 500 volt. I think they use those in like Marshall amps, but they're like 1 3/8 inches. They will not work with the bracket, too big. So these are out. So what you're gonna end up getting is just some regular 22 UF 450 volts caps from DigiKey or Mauser or whatever. And you're gonna change those out. So these are where they're located, on the bottom side of the radio. Now you're gonna have these mounted here as well. Change those out as well, and you might as well just go ahead and cut those out because that's going to give you better access to work here, and then you'll put new ones into these as well. What are these? 2200 UF? Yeah, 25 volt. So we'll change those out as well. We'll change those out, change this one out, and we're going to get the big ones, and of course the HV caps. We're going to change those out too. And that's a pretty good start or place for the caps on this radio. You can get crazy and start changing out all these if you got a bunch of motivation, but this will be a nice start to really keep this radio going. So I've got the new caps in, as you can see. So what you're going to do is you're going to take pictures and do a diagram of the old capacitors. You want to get these hooked up right. So then you can go ahead and cut the wires off the old capacitors. Okay, when you put the new caps in, you're going to arrange those to make sure, you've got 4 of them, that these leads are far enough in from the plate that they're not going to ground. Okay, and you can do that just by turning them in there. You can get them, I put the 2 grounds together on each side, but you can get it to where they will not be touching the sides here. And I would still put an insulation over these leads right up to the capacitor body. Put those put a little insulation, you know, this tubing stuff here on the leads. Do that for sure. Okay, let me go ahead and turn this radio over, show you what we're working with here. Give me just 1 second. Bear with me here. I'm doing this with 2 hands. That's crazy. All right, not the lightest radio in the world. Okay, so on the upside, you're gonna have these 2 boards. You're going to undo the screws, and there's going to be 2 tie clips around the bundles. There's going to be 1 around there, 1 around there. Take those off, save them, because you're going to put those back and keep the integrity of this radio. And then you're going to pull these 2 boards, pull them aside, okay? And you can see I've got the capacitors mounted using the same bracket as the old capacitors. This is nice because you can keep the same brackets, kind of maintain the integrity of the radio rather than put, you know, the tab on the bottom. It looks like crap or whatever. This way really works out nice by keeping the old bracket. And it's still, you're going to have to oblong them. You'll push these new caps and you'll oblong these mounting brackets, but it still keeps the integrity of the mounting screws. Now, let me give you a forewarning. This is tightly packed. So when you put this back in, there are little tabs that stick out on these mounting brackets. Bend those, break those off or bend them up so they're not pushing against the other body. You'll see these tabs, okay? But you can get those in there. If you're careful, everything will fit. It takes a little finagling, but you can see they're mounted, all the screws are in. And we're ready to go ahead and wire that up, and those will be done. Now the screws, getting those screws in and out, definitely you're going to want a screwdriver like this, you know, fairly long. You're going to want to magnetize it. So if you got a magnet, you know, just magnetize the end. And that way you can get down in there and put those back in. They're not the easiest to do, but they're doable. So we'll go ahead and put these back down, put the tie clips on, get it wired up, and we'll be ready to move on to these bad boys underneath here, which are the HV caps. And definitely want to change those out. So that'll be another video if I don't already have it up. Thanks for watching.